determined to help me, but thank you.
오케이, 일단 바로 착수해보자.
May Apollo keep you safe. Always.
절벽 개 높은데 어떻게 올라가지? 어디로 올라가지? 저긴가? 나 여기 돈 있었는데 돈 챙겨야 되나? 뭐 같으니 무슨 뜻이냐고요? 보갓 몰라?
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome
Contact
to
Octavia.
life under the
Oh my
golden
God.
rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
실은 울피어스와 꼭 이야기를 나눠야 합니다.
Right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance, you'll fall.
That's the idea.
What? Why? Why would you want that?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my life working for a man who treats me like an animal?
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. We're all in this together, Ulpius. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing. Please, you need to talk to him.
오케이, 알겠습니다. 일단 마우스 어디였어? 알겠습니다. 일단 얘기해보죠.
Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
올피어스 예의 좀 할까요?
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
아니, 뭐가 문제인지
I screwed up
물어보려고요.
my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love.
뭐 한마디밖에 안 물어봤는데.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through.
아니 한마디밖에 안 물어봤는데.
Oh Lord, that poor lamb.
자살하는데 황금줄이 위반되지 않았네요. 뭘 의미하는 걸까요?
I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the golden rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. It isn't mine.
내 잘못인가?
That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted moments after you arrived.
이제 어떻게 되는
I'll have
거지?
to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
일단 자살은 죄가 아니라는 거. 뛰어내리라는데? 나? 뛰어내리라고? 알았다 간다!
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted
시체가 있어요.
and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Yes. Thank you. I deeply honored. And now,
자살자가 말레올루스를 겨냥해 쓴 것 같은 편지. 타르타로스에서 평생 독수리에게 간을 쪼아먹히길 기원하마. 자살한 척 도망간 것 같다고? 그럴싸하고. 당근이 보라색이다. 현대에 개량된 주황색 당근이 나타나기 이전의 색으로 보인다.
A day of celebration. Did you just leap into my villa from the balcony
너냐?
100 feet above? That was either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me?
사연을
I'm
들으려고.
Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for
너
the
하나 더
election
떨어지지
later
않았니?
today.
선거에서 이기면
I'm
어떡할
glad you
겁니까?
asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city, just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under Sentius's tyranny.
어떻게 자유를 찾을
By
생각이죠?
declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie?
그러네. 얘 저거네. 얘 오드아이네.
The person making a claim bears the onus of proving that claim.
얘가
Can you do that?
퀵티우스인가?
Can you prove the Golden Rule is real?
실존합니다.
Nonsense! There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already.
전 같은 날을 계속 반복해서 살고 있죠. 매번 황금률이 깨졌죠.
Oh, I see what's happening here. Another poor, vulnerable soul taken in by Sentius's machinations. He won't get away with this much longer.
당신을 말로 설득할 방법이 없을 것 같은데.
True, but that is simply because you are mistaken.
나가는 법은
I'm
합니까?
afraid not. We're stuck down here together, for better or worse. We're all going to have to make the best of it. You mean
황금률을
the
어떻게 생각하죠?
children's fable exploited by Sentius to scare us all into doing what he wants? I trust you can see yourself out. Through the door this time. There's a key just beside it.
떨어진 녀석이 바로 저 시체에 저렇게 돼 있는 것 같아요.
Thank you. Thank you. I am
잠겨서 나갈 수가 없네. 뭐지?
deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. Magistrate. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted and deeply honored. Next to your magistrate. And now.
문 옆에 열쇠 있다 했나? 아, 있구나.
I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. And now I make this solemn.
Oi! How did you get in there, you cheeky little stirkers? If I cop an earful from Malleolus, I'll be coming for you.
알게 뭐라. 여사제를 뭐.
On your best behavior, I trust.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equity. Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me, but you
규칙을 찾아냈어요.
person. Did you find a pattern then? What have you noticed?
강 얘기를 한 사람들이 있었죠.
I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
아래는 그게 다예요.
There are definitely some common threads there. But I think we'll need at least a few to ensure we're not just seeing coincidences. Keep asking people how they wound up here. I don't want us to rush to any conclusions yet. Livia's fate weighs heavily on my mind and dictates we should be sure. Yes, you should ask the others first.
여기로
And did you notice anything?
아직은 모르고.
Keep Livia's fate weighs.
오케이.
I'm
황금률을
quite
어떻게
sure it's
생각하십니까?
the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods.
누가 자꾸 옆에서 훈수 두는 것 같다고? 약간 막 속삭이면서 누구한테 얘기하라든지 어디 가라든지 하는 것 같아.
And in return,
어떻게
we
하라고?
offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It
변신
is
이야기?
rather long.
아, 예, 뭐 얘기해 주십시오.
It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic, realizing only a select few possess such powers. Says to her husband, Philemon, I think these men are gods in disguise. Immediately the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal
유피테르와
themselves to be
메르쿠리우스.
Jupiter,
메르쿠리우스가
the gods, and
속임수의
Mercury,
신
the
누구지?
trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that
헤르메스.
someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test." But everyone else
그리스
in the city
로마신 하지만
failed, so we are
로마식
going to destroy
이름은
this place
아는 게
and
거의 없어.
everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish. So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
그렇군. 신들이 시험을 통과하지 못했다는 이유로 그냥 죽여버릴 수 있다는 걸 시사하는 걸지도 모르죠.
A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose.
선거는
It
어떻게
must
진행되고
be
있죠?
completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask?
투표에서 어떤
I'm
역할을 하시죠?
responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed.
투표는 누가
All
할
of
수
the
있죠?
male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course.
그럼 저도 할 수 있는 건가요?
You're not a citizen
아,
yet.
시민이 아니어서 안 돼?
So, no, I'm afraid not. But if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election.
예를
By
들면
using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course.
다른 후보를
You
추천해도
can,
될까요?
assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination.
그렇군.
Certainly. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors. Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Sentius?
Greetings and salutations. Greetings, I'm Georgie.
게오르기우스.
It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
말씀드려봤자 못 믿을 겁니다.
More intrigued than before, but since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
이 사람도 사연도 좀 물어볼까?
How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
그렇다고 할 수
I'll
있죠.
tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
그렇군. 그런 거 같네요.
And there is another reason.
그럴싸해.
If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you.
아, 미래를
I would like
생각하는
to do
거야?
my best.
아, 굉장히 긍정적인 분이구만.
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if
인류네,
only I
인류.
could remember it clearly myself.
기억나는 부분이 있나?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
강을 타고 흘러내렸단 말입니까?
I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
너도?
Anything you like.
누구한테 투표할 건가요?
That is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the
아,
wrong way.
누가 협박하러 오는 거야?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
황금률은 어떻게 생각해?
Yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
아, 그리스인이어서
As a Greek, this is
익숙하대.
nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
도미티우스가 문제긴 한 것 같아, 그지?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
그럼
If
우린
we
어떻게 해야
are
되는
to
걸까요?
survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus.
딜레투스의
First of the
탈레스의
seven
말에
sages of
귀를
Greece, who
기울여야
said,
된다고?
Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
아, 남이 저지르면 비난하는 행동은 자신도 하지 말라.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
그렇지, 직접
The
봤거든요.
voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing. Do they not?
나가는 법은 아십니까?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
말을 잘못한 건가요?
Been told about the last attempt. Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me.
뭐지?
Ah, it is a long story.
뭐 듣고 싶은데요.
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is
그렇겠지.
how
이런데
do I
들어오면
escape?
다 물어보긴
It's only
하겠지.
natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
그럼 왜 아무도 시도를 안 한 거지?
I am getting to that. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city.
아 그래?
That
아 그런 식으로 나가는 것도 안 되는 거야?
tail ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever
탈출
god
시도도
on the city's
황금률
blade.
위반이거든.
So I say it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
오케이.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
알겠습니다. 수고하십시오.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important. Ah, a new face. Salve,
Bergil.
and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. I hear we have you to
Virgil?
thank for saving Julia's life.
혹시
I'm
동생
glad
이름이
you arrived
단테니?
when you did. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But
Hiya.
you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
절벽의
The
신전이요.
Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a
아,
particular
어떤 신을
god,
섬기는지
like
저게
Proserpina
안
or Diana or Apollo.
확인이 안 된다고?
Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown
아,
god.
신의 이름이 적혀
But
있었을
it appears
거지만 훼손돼
some
있다.
barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the golden rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside.
그래서 들어갈 방법을 찾아봐야 되는 거구나.
We'll never know. Oh, I'm glad
도시의
you asked.
역사는
Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago.
중간중간에 이제 황금
Romans have been
상들 있는 거
arriving here
보면은
for at least that long. But there's
수백 년
one
동안
thing that
사람들이
puzzles me.
흘러 들어와서
The
죄를
oldest
저질러
shrine
가지고
in this
다
avenue isn't
황금 동
Roman at all.
황금상이 된 건가?
It's Greek.
로마인들은 그리스의 예술과 건축 양식을 베끼는 일이 흔하지 않습니까?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
건축 양식은
Gladly.
홍수?
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
그렇군. 송수로를 통해 도시로 물이 들어오면은 거기로 탈출은 못합니까?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just please try to be a bit more discreet about it.
아, 조심해서 얘기해달라. 아, 오케이.
Of course.
나가는
You
법은
wouldn't
아십니까?
believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I tell you the same
그러게요.
thing I tell
좀 약간
everyone else.
호감형들이
There are
있구만.
much worse places to live out your
이상한
days.
놈들도 있긴 하지만.
You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the golden rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway. Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Novio Magus,
바타비 부족
and
출신이라고?
learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
낙서하이드는 무슨 뜻이죠?
It means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to
아,
break the
황금률을
golden
깰
rule.
거라고? 왜 그런 생각을 하는
I
사람이 있지?
haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking.
아,
Somebody just has a problem with my
게이야.
preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Novio Magus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years?
그렇구만.
Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly
이게
until
북쪽,
living
부족은
isn't
좀
any better than the
뭐
thing you were
달랐는지
afraid
뭐
of.
모르지 뭐 나야.
Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well
지금
among
그것도
the
지역에
enlightened
따라 또
folk of the
달랐겠지
Batavi.
뭐. 유감이네요.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or
아,
at least I thought that was
이제
the
보니
case.
틀린 것 같아.
It seems I was wrong.
그렇구만. 누가 한 건진 않아?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
사교도?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one God, and that he considers my nature as sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they
그거
won't admit
완전
it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
그렇군. 일단 뭐 알아봐 주겠습니다.
Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused. Come back and let me
오케이.
know what
일단
you
좀
find.
물어봐 볼까?
Hello again, my sartorial friend.
얘는 아닐 것
What is on
같은데.
your mind?
누가 베르기를 협박한지 아십니까?
Is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea.
얘
It is
약간 좀
ridiculous, though. Virgil is a
유쾌한
fine.
아저씨여가지고
But my
아닐
young
것 같긴
friend
한데.
Fabia confided in me that she saw someone
아,
living
파비아가
graffiti on his
낙서라는 걸
shopfront
봤대?
last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it.
오케이.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
게오르기우스는 이름이 크리스천 느낌이 좀 나는 것 같다고. 허비는 사실님 1000원 감사합니다. 갑자기
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
파비아가 근데
Do
누구지?
you know why?
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no
Greetings
other
and
weapons in the
salutations.
city.
Hello again.
We all went along with the
This
magistrate's
is trap,
weapons
but
ban,
my young
so
friend
it wouldn't be an issue.
I hope.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
아 신전에 깔려 죽은 애가 파비아였나? 아 맞네.
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty. You have
누가 베르그를 협박했는지 아십니까?
This is an emergency.
제가 무슨 상관이죠?
Daft or just
그럼 노력해보죠.
Thank you. He's still in there somewhere.
저기로 가지 마세요.
What? Why?
일단 내 말을 믿어오세요.
All right, fine. Come and find me my bakery instead. Please be careful.
오케이. 난 이렇게 살렸어. 그 다음 일단 저 활 쏘는 암살자를 어떻게 해야 되는데? 뭐지? 여기 뭐야? 어이? 뭐야 여기?
You carry the gift of Prometheus in your hand. Remarkable.
누구세요?
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your
뭐야
name?
여기? 죽음입니다.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
우연히 찾았어요.
Then perhaps the fates brought you here to learn the secrets of this place. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I've been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for
철학적 논쟁을 나누고 싶었대.
before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the golden rule?
아직이요.
You have much to learn.
아, 깨달음의 진전이 생기면 돌아오네.
Come back once you've made progress.
대답이 듣고
Then you
싶은데.
should speak with your contemporaries in the city above. Ask them about their stories and see if you detect a pattern of some sort.
아,
It is best if you come to this
스스로 깨닫는 편이
realization
최선이라고?
yourself. You would never believe me if I told you.
그렇군요. 저기 밑에 저건 뭐지? 잠겨 있어. 3개? 2개? 뭐지? 이거? 여기에 뭔가 끼워야 되는 걸까?
you've returned.
여긴 좀 나중에 와야 되는 데인가? 나중에 와야 되는데 나도 모르게 와버린 거야?
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die in here?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kind
둘리,
of conscientious.
둘리 어쩌다 여기까지 왔니?
My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
그래서 누가 당신을 보고 도둑이라 여긴 건가?
Yes. But I wasn't. I was just looking.
그게 다야?
They said I did it more than once. But I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy.
골칫거리?
Yes. They said I have to live here now and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
치안판사 센티우스가 두일리우스에게 내가 이 편지를 쓰는 것은 자네가 사라진 보물을 찾겠다는 망사에 사로잡혀 반사회적인 행동을 일삼았기 때문일세. 몇 주 전 자네의 보호자 한니발이 사망해 공경에 처한 사실은 측은히 여기는 바이네만 자네가 알아둬야 할 중요한 사실이 있다네. 자네가 찾는 보물은 존재하지 않아. 자네는 기억력에 문제가 있으니 그저 잘못 기억한 것일지도 모르겠고, 더 중요한 사실은 자네가 모든 시민의 접근이 엄격하게 금지된 수조를 포함해 여러 곳에 무단 침입하다 적발되었다는 것이니, 그래서 안타깝지만 자네를 이 공동체의 골칫거리로 규정하고 자유를 제한할 수밖에 없었어. 그렇지 않으면 자네가 황금류를 깰지도 모르니 말이야. 또다시 기억에 문제가 생긴다면 이 편지를 읽고 자네가 왜 감금되었는지를 떠올리길 바란다.
What does it say?
무단 침입하다가 여러 번 걸렸대요.
My treasure.
무슨 보물이야?
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then he died. It was very sad. He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find him. All I remember is he said something about assistance. But when I
옆에서 무슨
went
소리가
to
들린 것 같은데?
buy one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me. Except my friend Galerius. And Ek, the priestess lady.
아, 그래?
She's a nice lady.
열쇠를 주시면 어딜 여는 건지 알아볼 수 있겠네요.
Said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
뭐 일단 건네달라고 부탁해 볼게요.
He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what.
그냥 건네들어도 될 것 같은데.
I don't want everyone to get in trouble because I was bad. Galerius.
발레리우스를 치안 판사로 만들 방법을 알아내보자.
I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was
오케이. 둘리를 감옥에서 구출해서 상부 수조 열쇠를 얻어.
It was just that it was way up high and very precious.
오케이. 작성해보자. 에퀴티아가 왔구나. 갈레리우스는 어딨지? 그나저나 저 활 쏘는 놈은 뭐라고 말을 해야 될까? 나를 찾거라고요. 일단 오드아이 얘기를 하면은 해결이 되려나? 일단 가볼까요?
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius.
네, 저 댁에 있습니다. 이 길을 끝까지 가면 바로 나와요. 말레올루스란 이름을 쓰고 있죠.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
죽이면 깨지는 거 아니고? 죽겠지? 뭐지? 이러면 어떻게 해야 되지? 쟤새 계속 가고 있거든요?
Salve.
Shh, I'm hiding. Did you stop him? What are you waiting for?
얼른 안 되네. 세쿤두스와 키테라는 끝까지 함께.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth. Salve, stranger, and welcome.
누가 베르기를 협박하는지 아십니까?
But I. Very well.
I shall.
쐈다! 피하!
Shall suffer for the sins of the one.
앨런! 센티우스님 빨리요! 빨리 빨리 포탈 열어주십시오. 시급한 문제가 있어요. 율리아가 죽어가고 있어요. 루크레티아는 실피움 수지가 없어서 속수무책이에요. 어서 갖다 줘야 합니다.
Yulia? Oh no. All right, I can do that.
일단 서둘러 주세요.
But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
이제 어디로 가야 되지?
Don't you just love springtime?
밥이야.
Lucretia, no time to explain. I'm supposed to give you this Sylphium resin for Yulia.
What? Quick, give it here. I'm just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what the new guy told me.
I don't understand. How did... Never mind. Thank you so much.
절벽. 이제 절벽 빨리 가자. 근데 절벽 가도 뭐라고 해야 다시 돌아오게 할 수 있을지 모르지 않나? 계속 돈 챙겨. 돈 계속 챙겨서 1,000원 넘게 하면은 뭔가 또 되지 않을까? 있다.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life on. All right. Well.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
아, 역시 바로 안 되나?
Oh no, no. Oh, P.S. What are you doing?
That's
What?
why do you?
I know. Please,
I'm sorry.
please help him. Thank.
센틸라가 원하는 게 이런 겁니까?
Know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone.
말씀드려봤자 못 믿으실 겁니다.
If you say so. You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want it all to be over.
제가 해결할 수 있을지도 몰라요.
Late for that. Yulia and I made a pact. And she's already swallowed hemlock this morning. If I backed out now, I'd be betraying her. I can't do that.
아, 루크레티아에게 실피움을 줘서 율리아를 구했습니다. 괜찮을 겁니다.
Oh, really? That changes things a little. But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Unless you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
2,000 데나리가 필요하다. 아, 시간을 좀 주시면 돈을 구해올 수 있을 것 같습니다.
No. Time's up. I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Oh, P.S. No.
대기를 뛰어버렸어 또.
I can't. I'll have to let and I bet.
대신전 출입문은 잠겨 있어. 돈을 저기서 말고 또 딴 데서도 쭈울 때를 찾아봐야 되지 않을까? 돈을 한 번에 좀 많이 주어야 루프하면서 좀 많이 챙길 수 있지 않을까? 어차피 죽을 애들이니까 죽이고 챙기자고. 그렇지만 죽일 방법이 없는 거야. 아파. 입 밖으로 내니까 좀 쓰레기 같다고. 뭘 새삼스럽게. 여기 있다. 오케이, 하나 찾았어. 시작해서 저기 오른쪽에 상자 하나, 저쪽 그 살리러 가는 길에 하나, 갈레리우스의 시. 나의 삶은 고통의 연속이었노라. 헤라클레스의 7 시련과 같이 버려지고 패배하고 사로잡혔으나 그 모든 고통을 기꺼이 다시 살겠노라. 모든 상실, 상처, 비극으로 인해 그대를 만나게 되었으니 로마의 성화와 같이 빈다는 그대는 나의 영혼을 채워주는 따스한 양분이니 그대는 내게 베스타의 불가같이 절대로 손닿지 못할 존재이니 그러나 멀리서 바라보고 사랑하며 그대의 빛을 쬐는 것으로 족하도다.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
황소.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
뭘 제 얘기. 뭘 쳐다봐. 뒤질라고. 템 더 먹을 거 없나? 아무것도 훔치지 마라. 아무도 해치지 마라. 아무도 글이 완성이 안 됐고. 아 꺼져. 아 꺼지라고.
The 49 melodies fetch a game with incessant labor.
또 쳐다봐. 쓰레기. 아폴로의 성소 보관함 열쇠 보여요. 뭘 꼬라봐. 뒤질라고. 인력. 뭐지? 뭐야? 109 데나리우스. 오케이. 저 오른쪽 하나, 여기 위에 하나, 저쪽에 하나.
Are you... What?
일단 다시 말 걸어갖고
Stop, right?
도시에 있는 조그만 원형 성소에서 기도를 올리고 있다군요. 여길 나가서 왼쪽 건물로 가면 됩니다. 그래서 얘 보고 죽으라고 하는 거구나. 브라핑으로 얘가 여기 들어가게 해가지고 뭘 해야 되냐고요? 저 활을 구할 수 있지 않을까요?
Filthy, lying degenerate.
네로 왕자가 양눈에 색이 다른 사교도 퀸크티우스의 처형을 명했다. 티베리우스 퀸크티우스 크리스푸스를 붙잡아 처형하라는 명령을 내리셨다. 40에서 50세 사이의 신장은 중간 정도면 체격은 보통이다.
you took care of him.
예,
An
처리됐죠.
So, it's over? Oh God, it's such a relief. I really thought we were all going to die. I do have a question though. That shrine, the one I was going to hide in, did you know it was going to collapse?
네.
So you kind of murdered him then?
The many shall
그렇구만.
suffer
도망쳐.
the sins of the one.
Kill me.
아, 살인을 자백하니까 범죄가 돼버렸어. 이런 식으로 되는구만. 오케이. 들키지만 않으면 된다 이건가? 파비아가 빈성소에 들어가지 못하게 막아야 합니다. 그리고 누가 올 텐데 찾는 건 거기 있다고 하세요.
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
율리아도 죽어가고 있어요. 이것도 갖다 줘야 됩니다.
Oh no. Alright, I can do that.
서둘러 주세요.
But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
그럼 전 돈 벌러 가겠습니다. 빨리.
Ixion turns.
빨리 돈 벌어야 돼. 빨리 2,000 데나를 빨리 모아야 돼. 얼마나 모았냐고? 잠깐만. 1640. 약간 모자란데? 좀 더 있어야 되는데? 한 번 더 루프하면 되겠다고? 약간 돈이 모자라 그지?
Well, another We've all been where you are now. I remember I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? I still don't have any.
도쿄인가요?
Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome.
너냐 혹시? 네가 저기다가 그거 적었냐?
Make us its scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible. Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep.
갈레리우스가 이 도시를 구할 것 같다고? 그럴지도.
It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose.
여기를 어떻게 왔습니까?
Much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber, hoping to escape on a barge. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across this place.
그렇구만.
Oh, that's all right.
일부 시민이
I'm sure it's
동전을
all part
언급했다.
of God's plan for me.
추리 게임 같은 거예요. 신은 원래 여럿이지 않나요?
A slip of the tongue. If you like.
나가는 법은
I'm afraid
아십니까?
not. Although
아우렐리아의
someone
주점에서
gossiping
나가는
down
방법을
at
얘기해
Aurelia's
준 적이 있죠.
tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate.
한번
I hope it
알아보죠.
works out.
한국령 어떻게 생각하죠?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I think about those words a lot. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency towards sin. And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? Are we born with a tendency towards sin?
그렇죠.
If that's
인간은
true,
근본적으로
then
악합니다.
Sooner or later, things are going
인간은
to end
기본적으로
badly
쓰레기야.
for all of us down here. Unless, of course, there's some kind of divine intervention. I wish I shared your faith. All right, well, it was lovely to meet.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no, 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 no. Oh, P.S.
That's
What?
why. I'm sorry.
Please help. I don't know. Thank you.
젠틀라가 원하는 게 이겁니까?
Well, if I. Oh.
2,000 데나리가 필요하다고요?
I are in debt bondage to Malleolus. We might as well be slaves.
어쩌다 그렇게 많은 빚을
씨
졌죠?
말이 확실히 맞죠.
So it's my
그
fault.
예는 꽤 많은 칸조
Is that
씨
it?
보면 돼.
무슨 말씀이신지.
You know I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Oh, P.S. No! I'll have and I.
일단 2,000을 모아야 될 것 같아, 그지?
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted. Did you just leap into my villa from that? Well,
당신이 퀸크티우스입니까?
my name is Marcus Malleolus Gurgis. You seem to have confused me with someone else.
한 눈은 녹색이고 한 눈은 파란색이네. 네로 황제의 수배서에 적힌 대로 말입니다.
You mean my heterochromia? I am guilty of nothing more than having different colored eyes. And I'm hardly the only person with the condition. Alexander the Great had it too, as it happens. I like to think it is simply the way the gods have chosen to mark a natural-born ruler. Nothing more.
퀸크티우스는 과대망상에 빠져있다고 하던데요.
I am not suffering from any delusions, as today's election will firmly
색상 차이를
establish.
모르겠다고요? 녹색이랑 파란색 눈이에요. 근데 생명이어서 그런 게 아니고 아마 저럴 가능성도 있어요. 이제 또 모니터에 따라 또 그 보여지는 게 출력되는 게 좀 달라가지고 약간 비슷하게 보이는 걸 수도 있어요.
Unlikely, because it simply isn't true. Now, was there something else you wanted?
선거 후보자에서 사퇴하십시오.
Are you insane? You barge into my villa uninvited and then make outrageous demands? Why would I withdraw from an election I'm bound to win?
그러지 않으면 제가 당신을 죽일 테니까요.
The many shall suffer.
가자!
The sins of the one.
살해 협박도 되냐고? 그런가 봐. 아저씨 빨리 오세요. 센티오즈 아저씨. 황금줄 되게 허술한 것 같다고? 그런 것 같아. 온다. 자, 이제 이번에 2,000원 벌 수 있거든요. 밀려 죽어가고요. 이거 팝이야. 여기 빨리 막아주시고요.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water.
까먹으면 망하는 거 아니에요? 그런가? 이제 게임에서 기억해 주겠지. 서둘러야 할 것 같은 부분이 필요하다고? 하와이 파이브 같은 거? 빨리. 오케이.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia.
방아썰 지은 거님
Welcome to the Golden Rule.
2,000원 감사히 고맙습니다.
Ghastly thing. How are you faring?
얼마 임마 놔! 놓으라고! 놔! 둘 중 한 명은 살아야지! 이러다 둘 다 죽는다고! 놔! 놓으라고!
But on the bright side, once you've been here a few months, it's slightly less terrifying anyway. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating all these questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out?
기억할게!
I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. But I'm happy to share with you what I've learned.
파이팅! 물속에서도 잘 살 수 있어.
All right, well, it was lovely to meet you. I look forward to getting to know you better over the coming months. And if you ever...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
울피우스 기다려라. 2,000 데나르 다 모아왔다.
No. Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there.
That's...
What?
Why do... I'm sorry.
Please, help. Thank...
You...
젠틸러가 원하는 게 이런 겁니까?
Well, you don't...
제가 문제를 해결할 수 있습니다.
If I back...
율리아는 구했어요.
But we're still in...
충분히 낼 수 있습니다.
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you then.
아니요, 당신은 자유입니다.
Do that for us. Couple of complete strangers.
그럼요.
It seems today we're both blessed. This did not turn out how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed.
자, 여기 돈 받으세요.
I'll go and pay off our debts immediately. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. But I have nothing but the tunic on my back.
뭐 그런 건 걱정하지
I'll
마시고.
go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend. I'll never forget what you did for us.
됐나? 여사제를 만나라는 것 같은데 만나러 가자. 뭐였지? 뭐였지?
Welcome. Feeling all right? That's a...
Yulia! I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying. And now Malleolus is going to.
내가 돈을 줬다 얘들아.
생년부지 두 사람을
Why do
구하기
you look
위해
so happy?
큰돈을 주지만
We're free.
생사고락을 함께한
Malleolus
친구는
just
바닷속에
released us and we
버린
never
그
have to
이름
set foot in that
한데.
villa again.
What? How?
The newcomer arranged it somehow.
Really? That's incredible. Oh.
서브젝트
what a
시그마님 1,000원 감사합니다.
I don't know
고맙습니다.
what to say.
You there?
You don't need
I'm
to
sorry
say
to trouble
anything.
you, but I couldn't help
Just
but
rest
notice
up,
that
get your
fine
strength
bow
back.
you're carrying. No
You'll
idea how you
celebrate
managed to get your
properly
hands on
when
it,
you're ready.
especially in the light of our
I
dear old
will.
magistrate's ban.
Thank you,
But
Orpheus.
I'm impressed.
I
And
will.
before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts.
계속하세요.
Do you have any idea how people here
어디 가셨어요?
those golden statues?
어디 가셨어요? 조항산들이 살아난 시민들의 금화살을
Here I
쏟아붓죠.
was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly one or two of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by
황금알을
a Greek
낳는
fella
거위.
Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested?
경고하려고 쓴 이야기 아닌가?
I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not?
분위기가 당기긴 하네요.
So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
미다스 코인 타고 화성 가즈아.
가즈아.
No problem.
3님, 1,000원 감사합니다.
Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she
황금활과
carried with her
금화살이
a
담긴
golden bow
화살통을 지녔다.
and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand?
황금활?
Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you know what.
활을 훔치라는 겁니까?
If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
집어오면 안 되나?
gods would see you, of course. Hence my proposal.
직접 하는 건 어때?
More of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful.
처음 보는데 지략과 용기가 뛰어난지 어떻게 아세요?
When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger?
뭐 오케이.
Are you in, partner?
대신 동업자라고 부르지 맙시다.
Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying a layer of gold leaf. This is a quality weapon. Now, bear with me for a moment. And here we are.
오,
a gold
성공했네.
leaf bow.
가짜 황금알.
Now I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
치료 류머티즘에는 버드나무 껍질이 특효약이다. 그렇군. 뭔가 필요한 일이 있을지도.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Sorry, was there some... You mean my... Our father found good husband. It was a good life. We must... But they fell on... My employer told me to grab... Thank you. If
아니
that's
뭐보다
your
아십니까?
idea...
가버리래. 까비.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Salve and welcome.
누가 베르기를 협박했는지 아십니까?
Terrible shame that is. The
아, 누군진
forward's
몰라?
usually dead. To be honest, I thought maybe poor old. So I put my head out and saw someone in front of Virgil's shop. I couldn't tell. I called out to them. All I remember is they ran
횃불을
past
지나갈
the
때
lit
금속
torch
같은 게
and the
반짝였대.
light glinted. So I suppose it could only be one of three people.
호라티우스,
Horatius,
도미티우스,
Domitius, or
루피우스.
Lucius.
그러면은
Hope that
도미티우스일
helps.
확률이 크지 않을까?
There's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can.
어떻게
I
여기로
suppose it all
왔습니까?
started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me, a fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked. In the end, they decided I'd do better outside the city. Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said. But after about a day in a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep, because when I opened them again, I was in a forest by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am.
다른 사람들은 로마에 있다가 숲에서 깨었는데 당신은 하루 거리에 떨어져 있었다고요?
Oh yeah. I suppose you're right. Hadn't really thought about it.
아, 저도 초반에 그 애들 얘기하는 거랑 보고
Who knows what their
혹시
plans
이미
are
다
for us.
죽은 게 아닌가라고 저도 생각하긴 했었는데 일단 좀 더 봐야 될 듯.
What? You've been here a few moments and you're desperate to get out already? Why not give the place a chance before you try to leave? Good people here. Galerius works hard on the farm so I can put food on our tables, and Lucretia tries to keep us healthy. My friend Georgius is always mending our clothes, and Virgil makes sure these old walls don't fall down around us. Well, he does his best. I'm just saying, there are worse places you could live out your days.
전 딴 데서 왔습니다.
Well, I can tell from your funny accent you're not from around here, but that doesn't mean you don't belong, does it?
황금들은 어떻게 생각합니까?
I try not to worry about it. I mean, if people are nice to each other, we won't have anything to worry about, will we?
긍정적인 태도가 마음에 드는군요.
And I like your teeth. They're so white. And your clothes. Oh, I bet my friend Georgius would like to get a look at you. And I'm sure he'd love to chatter about the Golden Rule with you too. He'll be just across the forum in his shop. All right. Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
일단 성서로 들어가서 화로에 불을 끄래. 가짜 황금알을 진짜 바꿔치기. 된 건가? 속인 건가?
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you.
설마 내가 있는데 잠근 겁니까?
Slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in. And until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like Tantalus in Tartarus.
역시 사기꾼요. 황금률이 아무 반응 없는 이유가 뭐죠? 둘이 재산을 나눠 거짓말했잖아요.
No, technically, I never said that. I said
말장난으로.
all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love a good loophole.
이렇게 뒤통수를 치는데 당신 어떻게
You're just
믿죠?
gonna have to take your chances, I'm afraid. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognize my own handiwork.
화를 줘도 날 계속 여기 놔두겠죠. 됐습니다.
I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be rather aggressive toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were right, shall we?
그렇군. 신전을 탈출하라. 탈출할 수 있는 방법이 있을까요? 아, 그렇군.